Have you ever been outside in the cold and you step into a warm home that just smells like something wonderful came out of the oven? We're gonna make two of my favorite meals to make our home feel like something you might find in a Beatrix Potter story or in Little Women. On Thursdays, I like to surprise my husband's parents with dinner here and there. I have some yellow onions that need to get used, and then my mother-in-law gave me some peppers from her garden. There's a few that have mold, but that's okay. She didn't give them to me moldy. I procrastinated, but they're gonna get used today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna use about 5 onions. That should be enough to feed 4 people. I'm gonna cut out the little onion cap here, and this is what you should be cutting out, almost like a diamond shape. I'm not necessarily the type of person to follow a recipe word for word, so I'm going to leave the recipes in the description so that you can follow them however you would like and take away or measure everything perfectly. It's up to you. But yeah, feel free to do whatever you'd like. These are just recipes that I consistently go back to, and I hope that you enjoy them. I don't know why the beef was cheaper as burger patty shapes, but it was. So, save me $3. You know what's quite funny is my mom, she likes measuring things perfectly and triple checking and making sure. And I just kind of like, I think that looks good. And then I'll give it another shake or two. And my mother-in-law is kind of like that as well. I'll ask her for a recipe for something, and then she'll give me a blank face and just like, I don't know what I added to it, but it came out good. I think that that's one of the really fun aspects about marriage is being able to cook with my husband's family, with his grandma, with his great-grandma, with his mom. And I didn't really experience too much of that, not necessarily because my family didn't cook, but because I was young. And so I was normally playing, but being able to spend time with his family, learning to cook, and just being in the kitchen with them, it's really, really memorable. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in on the second rack, and I'm gonna bake it for 1 hour covered and 1 hour uncovered. On the topic of being around family this holiday season, I wanted to share something that my mother-in-law recently spoke about in church, and I thought it was a really beautiful message for this season. But one of the things that we experience is being around a lot of family who are not believers, or they don't know Jesus, or they don't know the Lord. But she shared on how we can be the light to other people during this holiday season. And one of the things that she mentioned was just praying that there is an open door, to be able to share, to be able to talk about our faith with those of our family members who have a very hard heart towards it. And she was just talking about being compassionate and being understanding rather than being brittle and hard toward them, because we have to understand as Christians that there is a veil that really covers the eyes of those who don't know the Lord. And so just being understanding and compassionate goes a really long way. Another thing that she brought up was resisting the urge to fix people. And I think sometimes we can look at people and think, well, if you just did things my way, and if you just looked at things the way that I did, then you would be happier. But we're not the Holy Spirit in our family members' lives. The Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit. And we are the salt and the light. But we can't get someone's heart to do what only the Holy Spirit can get their heart to do. And Jesus drew crowds because of the goodness of God. so it is the goodness inside of us that draws in the heart. The other thing that she mentioned, there were 4 points, so this is the third one, but she just mentioned that people who are hard-hearted towards God, they're not drawn to your pushiness or your persistence, but they are drawn to your fruit. People are drawn to the fruit of the Spirit within us, and that is love, being loving, that is being joyful and happy, that is being peaceful, that is being kind, that is being self-controlled. And if we bring attitude and frustration or anger and contentiousness and little jabs and little snarky comments to the table when our family is just trying to enjoy a holiday, why would they be attracted to us when we look just as bound up as they are? The last thing that she mentioned was, don't fall into destructive patterns trying to make other people feel comfortable around you. Like, I think sometimes when we see our family members or people who, they're not joyful and they have a weird sense of humor, we could try to make them comfortable by lowering ourselves and kind of being snarky back, or just partaking in ungodly behavior to make other people comfortable. And she just mentioned the importance of allowing our freedom as believers to speak for itself, letting our faith and our joy, again, and our peace and the goodness of God, let that speak for itself rather than trying to force it on somebody. I was planning on making cinnamon rolls, but I think I want a pie. I don't know if this will be a yellow or orange pumpkin. It'd be funny if it was white, but let's make some pumpkin pie instead. I've also never made a pumpkin pie with roasted pumpkin, so just beware. Don't take my word for anything until the video is over. It's orange, guys. Yay! There we go. It's in progress. Load. There we go. Oh, that is beautiful. My mom is probably watching this and freaking out over the way I'm handling the knife. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half and then take out all of the seeds. I've got about 2 trays of it, and there's still more left for me to cut, which I was not expecting. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven at 375 for about an hour. And hopefully we have a beautiful roasted pumpkin after. While we wait on that, I want to go work on a room back here. It's very cold and I want to bring some warmth into it. So I thought it'd be fun to do that together, but we're going to do that with the help of FlexiSpot. Before bringing in the chairs, I decided to kind of set the scene and I grabbed a grandfather clock that we had in one of the rooms and I put up some artwork. I think assembly of these chairs took me about 7 minutes each, so it was quite fast. And then I ended up trying a few different side tables, but the first one looked really silly, but I just wanted to try it. And then the second one looked beautiful, but I added a thrifted lamp, and I think these chairs just came out great. They have some dark green ones, which I'm not gonna lie, those really caught my eye, and I think they would have suited the space just as well. But I brought in my husband so that he could test them out and tell me what he thought.
I feel like I could be a grandpa. Give you my Sudoku book. I'm quite relaxed now all of a sudden. I'm really coming into my adulthood with this.
Put the Sudoku like he asked. My hope is to do some sewing in this room throughout the winter. So I brought in my sewing machine and my Pride and Prejudice VHS, And I think it came out beautiful. But thank you so much to FlexiSpot for these beautiful chairs, and I will link them in the description if you want to grab some. So I am using some pie crust that I made a few months ago. They've been in the freezer, but I will leave the recipe in the description box because I didn't want to make them from scratch when I knew I had some already. I would really love to be one of those people who could like do little braid and stuff around the edges. Eventually we will get there, but today I used a fork. So for some reason the crust crumbled a little bit, so maybe next time I'll do a different recipe. But mismatched mittens, it didn't crack in the middle, and that's what I'm really impressed by, because I don't think I've ever made a pumpkin pie that hasn't cracked before. So I think this is a great recipe. Well friends, that is going to be it for this video. I've had quite a few requests for a video like this, so please let me know if it's something that you enjoyed, and if not, also let me know. But I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family, and thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, friends.